All right. Welcome to the Team Butterfly Effect All Hands call. It is Monday, July 7th. Did I just say 7th? Yeah, no, 6th. Gosh, can't ever keep it straight. Um, Welcome to the call. I'm going to go ahead and put everybody on mute just for now. Um, Thank you so much for being on live. I really highly appreciate everybody. I know it's not convenient to pause from your family and from life for a random 30 minutes in the evening. So I really highly appreciate it for those of you who make it a priority to be on live. I really do appreciate everybody who actually makes an attempt to listen to the recording later, because believe it or not, I'm on my YouTube channel on like a daily basis, if not daily, every other day, uploading my YouTube videos for my yoga videos and so on. And I really do actually go back and check to see how many views our calls have had. So I notice. So I really appreciate that. I honor you and thank you for being mindful of the new call time this week. After last week's low attendance, I decided to go ahead and use that awesome, cool app that Jill Aptosky shared with me. I think it was the Doodle Me or something like that, to find a better time. And it obviously is a better time because we have twice as many people on here tonight as we did last week. So that's a good thing. So a couple pieces of announcements before we get into the meat of tonight's call. And I posted about this in our group page the other day, but I just want to reiterate it. So if you're not already excited about it, if you're not already paying attention to it, Size gets launched at the end of the month. And the super cool thing about Size is it's Shanti's newest baby, and people love Shanti. I mean, I love Shanti too. He's absolutely dreamy to look at, if nothing else, and he is a hell of a trainer. So he gives you an amazing workout. There's going to be a lot of people who probably have pushback and say that they're used to the really high intensity workouts, and his Size is going to be as high intensity. And I'm going to be completely real. I mean, Size is going to give you an awesome workout, but what it's not is it's not athletic training. Okay, what a lot of people are used to getting from Shanti is that athletic training, and that is not it. But what I encourage all of us to promote Size as is a break from being serious for just a little bit. It's like, I've been feeling the vibe as far as just people in general, and a lot of people have just been feeling just stressed out in different ways in their life. So how great would it be just to take a month, maybe 2 months, if you want to do the whole program from start to finish, and actually just have fun with your workout for a little bit. I mean, come on, let's just have fun for a little bit. And so what I am encouraging us all to do, and if anybody is really creative with slogans, please step up and give a sister some help, because that's just not my forte. But if you're really catchy with slogans, I would love to come up with a name of a challenge group that we could all promote, that it was going to be Size and Beachbody on Demand Yoga and Pilates. What would a catchy slogan for that be? Because my thought process is, so many people say that they want to have a dancer's body, which is long and lean and so on. But to get a dancer's body, you have to work out like a dancer. That's the only way to do it. So what do dancers do? Dancers dance, and dancers do yoga and Pilates. That's what they do. They don't lift heavy weights. That's just not the bag of a dancer. Okay. So, so it's what I would suggest, what I would love to see us all do is to, what I would love our challenge group to be is, if people want to do the straight full program, fantastic. Okay. If they want to just do the program as is, that's cool. Or if you want to have people doing, I'm going to probably personally myself going to be doing 3 days a week of Size, maybe 4 days a week of Size, and then trying to get my challengers to also do 2 days of my body. So 1 day of yoga and 1 day of Pilates, or both. Okay. But with Beachbody on Demand, between P90X3's yoga and P90X3's Pilates, and I believe there's also the 21-day fix sneak peek yoga in there too, you have 3 different options of 30-minute mind body workouts. So That's what I would love to see us all doing as a team. Not only just doing it as a team, doing it ourselves, but getting our challengers to do it. And this is really twofold. Just to be real, guys. One is we want to promote our newest hottest project. I mean, our newest hottest thing. It's going to be on sale. I'm sure right when it's launched, it's going to be the cheapest it's ever going to be right when it's released. And we want to promote that, and we want to be proof the product works, right? So if we do it, and then at the end of the 60 days, we're going to have our results pictures, which are going to show other people, which in essence will be a sales tool for you, right? I mean, Heather has experienced great success with just showing her before and after pictures with that. So that's very important in that category. But then also, guys, too, if we get all of our team doing it together and everybody wrapped up in it and doing it together, if you are a business builder and if you are looking to grow your business, this is going to help your paychecks, because the PV is going to go up within your whole organization, okay? And we're all going to be doing it together, so it's going to add some team rapport. So that's my first bit of information. Second bit of information is I'm so excited for those of you who are going to be within Summit in next week. So excited. But for those of you who aren't going to Summit, rock on, Jill. Those who aren't going to Summit, I highly encourage you, even if you are going to Summit, your Super Saturday or Super Sunday is going to be immediately following the following weekend. So I would Google, if I were you, and I would search to see where the nearest Super Saturday or Super Sunday is in your area. Fort Worth people and Dallas people, it's going to be that Saturday. So if I can tell you, let me tell you the exact date of that on my calendar here. That is going to be on the 22nd. So in DFW, we have, it's a Super Saturday, but we also have a big like training event that day and a size master class. So it's going to be freaking awesome. So I hope you get registered. Last piece of information is the Team Cup. And I'll talk to you guys about that as it gets closer again. But I just announced it to my VIPs today, and I want to share it with the rest of you. So what is the Team Cup? The Team Cup is happening in August, and the Team Cup is 30 days where we form teams of 5 to all work together for training to build our businesses and to earn prizes. So basically, the basic line is if there can only be 1 diamond on each team, but there does not have to be a diamond on each team. As far as the leader is concerned, you form groups of 5, and everyone works together to hit Success Club. And based on, there will be prizes that you can work towards and earn. I haven't actually done my research on the tier of prizes yet, or even if that's been released. But my only reason, we're not going to go into great detail about this today, I just want you to know that it's coming. It's coming in August. And my guess is that registration for your teams will probably open right around the time Summit hits. That's usually, they always plug it at Summit that it's going to be hitting and forming your teams. So if I were you, I would already start thinking, like, whose team do I want to be on? Who do I want on my team? And I'm going to be quite real. Who the people who I'm taking on to my team first are the people who want to build a business who've never hit Success Club before. Those are the people I'm taking on my team. And for those of you who are leaders, I highly encourage you to do the same. As if you have any coaches on your team who have never hit Success Club before, who want to be working, take them on, and then we form groups for everybody else. So you obviously want to help the people in your downline, okay? You want to help those people, but I'm just gonna throw it out there because I love her and her face is on the call. Like Heather, although I would love for Heather to be on my team, she's not going to be the first person that I pick because she's hit Success Club 10 2 months in a row. So even though she is one of my new coaches, I know she knows how to hit Success Club because she's done it before. So if I were another leader on the team, I would be doing my damnedest right now to recruit Heather to their team because you know that she knows how to hit Success Club, okay? But if someone else doesn't claim her in the next 48 hours, I'm going to. So, it's just, that's kind of how it works. So band together. If you have people on your team who you know need your help, step up as leader and help them, because Jill Donovan will attest that she had never got a Success Club point until the cup a year and a half ago, and she hit 10 her first time. Yeah, her first time to ever hit Success Club. She got 10 and she's still talking about it. Yeah, over there. So I highly encourage you, if you want to build a business, if you're just thinking about this kind of, step up and just do it. Okay, it'll push you out of your comfort zone, and that's when you grow. Oh, Jill is saying she got 9 coaches that month. So she hit Success Club 10 for the first time and signed 9 coaches her first time to ever. So that was enough coaches to go diamond in her first month. She just needed to have some people go emerald. So just saying how huge of a deal this is for your business. So please do it. Okay, so I've eaten up almost half of our call's time, which is information. So let me share with you what the meat of today's call is. And the meat of today's call is prioritizing and time managing our lives. And if you've been with me for a long time, we've gone through this before. I know Jill Donovan and Jill Leptoski have gone through this before. But more than anything, guys, all this information that I'm going to share with you is available on Chalene Johnson's 30-day push. So if you're fairly new, I want you to write this down: www.30daypush.com. And I'm not going to go through all of the steps today. I highly encourage you to do that on your own time. And at the beginning of the year, I always lead an accountability group to go through this together so we can do it then. But if you don't have a pad of paper nearby and a pen, grab one. Or maybe you want to grab your smartphone to jot a note down or something. I'll give you about 30 seconds to go grab something to write with. And even if you're a veteran on the call, Jill Donovan and Jill Leptoski, I highly encourage you to go ahead and do this too, just primarily because our priorities change, okay? So the first time I went through the Chalene Johnson 30-day push, I had a certain list of priorities, and as I go through it now, my priorities have changed. My family is still at the top, but the second and third have changed places because I'm at different points in my life now, okay? So every time our life takes a little bit of a shift, so do our priorities. So hopefully you'll be getting your paper soon. But this is where I want us to start. So often when people ask, what does it take to be successful? What does it take to be successful? Most of people would say, well, hello, it's setting your goals, or hello, it's setting your to-do list. But Chalene Johnson preaches, no. The place for you to start is setting your priorities. And the reason why I felt it was so important to start with this today and to speak on this today, because literally, guys, up until about 3 hours ago, I still wasn't settled on what we were going to talk about on this call. There were a couple things rolling through my mind that I wanted to talk about. However, in the Rockstar VIP group today, Amanda made a post. And if you were at Fort Worth, our last Super Friday, it was in Fort Worth. I know Jill Donovan was there, Brett was there. At the very end, and this is just for our team guys, at the very end of the call, or at the very end of the meeting, a couple of the Amanda was on stage with the 2 other Fort Worth Market Council people, and I'm not going to name their names just because this wasn't the greatest thing. But at the end, they made Amanda feel very less than, because if you didn't notice that, maybe Jill and Brett didn't hear this, maybe they did, but what they made some comment about plugging in every day and how it was so important. And Amanda said, I'm not plugging in tomorrow. You know, Amanda's like, I take days off. She's like, Saturday is athletics for my family. And I'm a mom, and being a mom she didn't say these words, but Amanda's like, I'm unplugging tomorrow. It's sports day for my family. And literally just today, someone reached out to Amanda and sent her a message that said how important it was for her that she stood up that day and said that she was unplugging tomorrow because her family was at the top of her priority list. And so many times when we get involved with we're really passionate and we want to help people and so on, it can be really easy to take the things that are the most important in our lives and put them lower on the list because we think somewhere in our minds that we have to do, accomplish, right? Because we want to be the top coach. We want to be the best. We want to be elite. We want to be this. But what is it all going to matter if you lose the things that are the most important to you in the process? Okay, so today we're going to talk about priorities. So I want you to really sit down and I want you to write out your top 3 priorities. And when you write out your top 3 priorities, I want you to let go of what you think your top 3 priorities should be. Because so many people put family as their top priority. And if family is your top priority, that's awesome. That's mine too. But you know what? If family is not your top priority, that's okay. There is nothing wrong with your career being the top priority. There's nothing wrong with your health and fitness being your top priority. There's nothing wrong with socialization and having fun be your top priority. But what matters is that you know for you what they are. So, as you've listed out your top 3 priorities, they can be anything from family to fitness to nutrition to spirituality to fun to financial freedom to work to climbing the ladder to accomplishing this to accomplishing that. So now once you have the idea of what your top 3 priorities are, I want you to give them an action statement. And I think out of this is the most important part. Not just family. So I'm going to give you an example of what mine are, and not because I think mine are that important, but because it's easy to learn through other people's experience. Okay? So for example, my number 1 priority is my family. So what is my action statement for that? What does that mean that your family is your most important priority? So for me, specifically, when I write out my priorities, my action statement is specifically this. I am present and engaged in the daily life, health, and well-being of my immediate family. And I unplug 24 hours a week to make space for the time and growth and deepening of our relationships. That is my own personal action statement for my family. And see, for some other people, it may be money because they may be the provider for their family. Okay? And this is the thing that you need to be aware of and specific for. There's a difference between priorities that you need to be held accountable to and your intrinsic priorities. So it's important that we talk about the difference here, okay? Because intrinsic priorities you don't have to write down. Intrinsic priorities are things that you are going to do no matter what because it is who you are. You write down these priorities because they're things that are ideal for you, but that might not be the most natural. So say for example, my number 2 priority currently at this time, had I done this 2 years ago, this would have been my number 3, okay? But my number 2 right now is financial freedom. So why is the financial freedom below my family? First and foremost, so I'm going to tell you, guys, work is a drug for me. Like so when I say financial freedom, not work, okay? Because for me, work is a drug. I love it. I could get lost in work. I could sit down and work with what I do for a week. I mean, literally. I mean, I could sit down at my computer and take time to eat and maybe do some yoga and maybe sleep and be completely content and shut out everything I mean, I don't know how long I could just like put on my blinders and just work. So for me, work is not even on the list because work is intrinsic. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so work is intrinsic, but financial freedom is not intrinsic for me. We're not big budgeters around my house. We're not big how do I put this? I mean, I could work my ass off, but does that necessarily mean it's going to provide me money? Not necessarily. I mean, if I had my choice, I would be teaching teaching all day long. Honestly, just to be real, I would be teaching all day long if that made me as much money as Beachbody does. But it doesn't. Okay? So I have to evaluate that. So let's back up even further. So intrinsic. So say for example, maybe one of your priorities is to be a good friend. But that's something you just do naturally anyway. Then you're not even going to put that on your priority list. But if you've been noticing that your friends like you don't really have any anymore because all you do is spend time with your family and work, but you really don't have any friends anymore and you would really like to have friends, then maybe you put being a good friend on your priority list and what that looks like for you. So when you analyze your priorities, guys, you really have to sit back and look at what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want people to talk about with you after you're gone? What is it? And if it's not something that's intrinsic about you, then you don't have to add it. And I'm going to tell you, being a good friend is not on my priority list because for like 2 or 3 people in my life, 4 people, that is intrinsic. And I talk to all the time. Okay. So you have to analyze that. So what's your number 2 priority? Now give it an action statement. Whatever that is for you. What would you have to be doing to make that real in your life? So for example, mine is financial freedom. And so what is my action statement? My action statement for financial freedom is I use my spiritual gifts in order to provide for my family the life of our dreams. And the life of our dreams includes a life in which we can experience all of the greatness that life has to offer through daily life and opportunities. It includes travel, it includes education, and that includes a debt-free existence. So that is my number 2. That used to be my number 3 because my number 3 or my number 2 used to be my dharma. So in yoga, my dharma is my spiritual calling. It's like why I'm here on this planet. That's my dharma in yoga. And that used to be my number 2. But what I've realized through my action statements of my financial freedom, that includes my dharma, right? So it doesn't have to be like I realized, okay, well, if I'm truly practicing my spiritual gifts and practicing why I'm put here on this planet, then that feeds into number 2. And so I put that there. But the reason why many of you are going to think, well, isn't that one of your intrinsic priorities? That's just who you are. You're a spiritual chick who likes to Om and likes to do yoga, and that's who you are. But here's the thing, guys. I will take that completely off the agenda when it comes to just the chaos that life brings. Right? It's like someone asks you, can you do this? Yes, I can do this. Can you do this? Yes, can you do this? Can you do this? Yes, you can do this. And all of a sudden your plate is so full, what's going to give? Right? It could easily say, okay, my meditation's going to go away today because I don't have time for that. But instead, I have my priorities listed and I know what that is. And what is my action statement for that? So what is your action statement for your number 3? I ask you to contemplate that. What is your action statement for number 3? And my action statement for my dharma, is practicing my dharma, is that This is me getting really vulnerable and real with you guys here, but this is what I really write when I say this. I continue to spread the fairy dust of positivity, consciousness, and expansion throughout my work and play. That's my number throughout. That's my number 3. So that's for me. So why is it important to have these, and why is it important to write them down? Because when you write them down and you put pen to paper, it makes it more real. It just does. It's the way physiologically, is that a word? It works, okay? That's the way it works, how the mind pushes it out there. And also, once you have it on paper, this is what you are going to use to make all your decisions from here on out. When someone says, can you do this? You say, does it honor my top 3 priorities? And if the answer is no, then you don't do it. And this is the magic mantra that Chalene Johnson suggests, and I love it so very much. When someone asks you if you can do something, instead of automatically saying, yes, sure, I can, and then you go back and you're like, what the hell did I just commit to? I don't have time to do that. So instead of doing that, you say, thank you so much for thinking of me. Let me check my calendar and I'll get back to you in the next 24, 48 hours. Does that sound good? So what does that do, guys? That buys you time. That buys you time to go literally sit and look at your calendar, and then to literally sit and look at your priorities and say, does this honor my priorities? Does this fall in line with my priorities? And if the answer is no, you say no. And here's my next mantra for you. This is an Aubrey mantra. Is when I say no to you, I'm saying yes to me. Say that again. When I say no to you, I'm saying yes to me. So anytime someone asks you to do something and it doesn't align with your priorities, then that's what you have to tell yourself in your head to let go of the guilt for not feeling like you're not good enough, for not being able to do it all. Because that's the vicious cycle we fall into as girl boss women. I know we have men on our team. Eric, when you listen later, I'm sorry you're going to hear that. But we mostly, this team is 99% women. And we have a whole bunch of girl bosses on this team. And I know all of us girl bosses, we want to do it all, and we want to be successful at it all, and we want to look damn good while we're doing it. But the reality of life is, I'm going to slap you in the face with it. We can't do it all. So we have to know what our priorities are in order to really get a good grasp on it. And I've had a lot of stuff happening in my own personal life lately that has been pointing me into the direction that I need not only to refocus on my priorities, but need my team to focus on our priorities. Because I'm going to leave you with this message right here. We can push. I mean, we all talk about Chalene Johnson's push, right? And I love the analogy, but I want us all to take a step back for a second. And I want you to think about the earth and Mother Nature and how it changes things and how it affects things. There's the masculine and there's the feminine principle. The masculine is earth and the feminine is water. Okay? The masculine, when the masculine wants to make change, what do? Earthquake. Literally, like, was about to drop the F-bomb and I just realized that I was on a recording. I mean, we mess stuff up. You could have said that in other words. How would you have said it? Yeah, it's like you mess stuff up. That's how a man does it. It's like the earthquake. Pow! I'm going to do that. What's the feminine principle? The feminine principle is water. So I want you to think of the Grand Canyon. Okay, if you've ever been at the Grand Canyon and seen the majesty of the Grand Canyon is hella deep, right? Hella deep. And you can believe in all the other allegories of how the Grand Canyon got there. But if you really look at the science of it, at the bottom is a river. At the bottom is a river. So have you ever realized a river and water shapes the earth? But it doesn't do it by forcing. It doesn't do it by pushing. It does it by gently just rubbing here, rubbing there, just slowly and gently working its way through the earth. Literally, Jill's mind's going dirty right now. Literally just works its way through the earth. And that's the feminine principle, is that to truly be successful, we don't have to push. We have to be smart. We know what our priorities are, and then we go with the flow to make them happen. Instead of pushing, we ease, we pull, we surrender, we soften to what is, and then the magic happens. We allow the magic to happen instead of forcing the magic to happen. So if you feel like you've been forcing, you've been pushing, you've been coercing in any way, and for some reason shit's not going the way you want it to, then I say we take a step back for just a second and we start to meditate and analyze on the feminine principle of water and realize that if our priorities are in line, we don't have to force, we don't have to push, we don't have to mess crap up and be destructive to be productive. We have to know what we want, and we have to be smooth and sweet for it to happen. And guess what? By being smooth and sweet, before you know it, you will have grown something so deep that people will be in awe of later. Jill, don't even. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I really encourage you to step back and take a look at your priorities and make sure that the time and the way you spend your day aligns with those priorities. And if I ever to ask you to do something and it doesn't align with your priorities, guess what? I have just given you free rein to tell me no, but you know what I want you to do and how I will accept it with open arms is you say no because it does not fall into my top 3 priorities. My top 3 priorities is this, and it does not fall in, and you know what I will say? Okay, you got me. I'll honor that because I love you. So I love you all. Have a fantastic night. There will be a call next Monday. Keep your ear to the down low. It may be a pre-recorded call because I may be teaching a journey dance during this time. Okay, high possibility of that. But if not, I'll see you then. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.